It's not every day you see a historic apartment building rolling down the road in Spokane. The story behind the massive effort to move the Rose Apartments.
The fact of the matter is we just have to up our game.
And a stark warning from Governor Jay Inslee today. Yakima County is now the West Coast COVID-19 hotspot. Tonight we examine why.
Still tracking a few showers tomorrow, but by the time the weekend arrives, summer sunshine and warm temperatures. Your forecast is next.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11. I'm Mark Hanrahan here in the KREM 2 studio tonight, joined by my colleague Regina On in the newsroom. Hi, Regina.
Hey there, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Let's get right to our top story tonight. We're bringing you coronavirus information every day. Yakima County is the worst hit coronavirus hit county on the entire West Coast. Officials say it's because of a few reasons like hotspots, like long-term care facilities and agriculture. But before we go into more of why Yakima is hurting so bad, let's break down some numbers for you. 5,597 confirmed cases, 413 hospitalizations, 48 currently hospitalized right now, 8 people currently intubated, 124 people have died from coronavirus, 21,408 tests done. 26% of those come back positive. Well, what is also scary is that the majority of these cases are between 20 to 29-year-olds, about 22% of that. 30 to 39-year-olds count for the second highest majority with 18%. Remember, younger adults might not feel any symptoms and continue to work in those essential businesses, so it's important to take those extra precautions. So let's look at how this trend works. If you take a look at this graph, you can see the number of new cases kind of going all over the place, but you'll see the numbers continue to increase. That's what we want to look at. And this next graph here shows a 14-day projection. It shows that continual rise that you really don't want to see. You want to see those lines either flattening out or going down. So this projects what you will see in the next coming weeks. Ideally, again, we want to see those numbers going down in Yakima County. With that said, things have gotten so dire in Yakima County that the governor made a visit to the region today. He said it's the first time he's traveled since the beginning of this pandemic. So why is Yakima having so many issues and what is being done about it? Our political reporter, Casey Decker, has the governor's answers.
The fact of the matter is we just have to up our game. Our current game is not on the winning column.
Governor Jay Inslee with some blunt words for Yakima County, calling the region the current epicenter of this virus. And the data backs that up. The relatively small county is still the only one in the entire state stuck in phase 1, and it's not getting any better.
And every week they show us what the curve will look like if something doesn't change. And for Yakima Valley, it is terrifying because that curve just goes up just as dramatically as it was in March.
So what happened? How did things get so bad? Well, one unique problem faced by Yakima County, the amount of agriculture and food processing.
The agricultural industry is a very challenging environment.
A huge percentage of workers in the valley are considered essential, meaning staying at home is less common.
This is the place where our food comes from, and it is necessary to have food on our tables for survival.
Many in the industry have already expressed serious problems with their working conditions, even going on strike. So, what's being done? On the agricultural side, Inslee cites a three-pronged strategy of hygiene, spacing, and what he calls cohorts, having people who need to work close together only do so with the same group of people.
So if there is an infection, it's only of a smaller cohort, not hundreds of people. And that's a new strategy, and we think it has every possibility of success.
And for the rest of the population, social distancing, testing, contact tracing, and above all else,
if we're going to reopen Yakima County, we got to wear masks. It's just pretty simple.
The governor said right now compliance on mask wearing isn't where we need it, but it's trending in the right direction.
It's kind of like, cigarettes or seatbelts. Behavior has changed.
Given the severity of the disease in the region, Inslee gave no timetable on when it may reopen. Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
Meanwhile, another Washington county moved on to phase 3 of reopening today. Governor Jay Inslee posted this map today, writing that Pacific County, way over here in western Washington, was approved to move on to the next phase of reopening. There are a couple of other interesting observations from this map I want to point out tonight. As you can see, Spokane County, essentially the lone eastern Washington county, still in phase 2. The surrounding counties, all in green, well, they're now in phase 3. Just yesterday, Spokane Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz said we are still seeing too many new cases to move on to phase 3. Finally, we just talked about Yakima County. It is the lone county squarely stuck in phase 1 right now. All other counties in orange have applied to move on to phase 2 or are in a modified version of their current phase where more activities are allowed. New today, the Spokane Regional Health District is reporting 860 coronavirus cases and no new deaths. That's an increase of 18 cases since yesterday. 12 people remain hospitalized as of today. That's 3 more than yesterday. And yesterday, Dr. Bob Lutz reported 8 of the 9 hospitalized were in the intensive care unit. Tonight, we don't know how many remain in the ICU. Across the state line, the Idaho Attorney General's office warning COVID-19 patients to be aware of phony contact tracers. Reports arose of people pretending to be from the health district so they can get personal and financial information from those who may be infected. Idaho Attorney General Lawrence Wasden says contact tracers will not ask you anything about financial or banking information. Wasden added that if you are unsure if the person on the other end of the phone is legitimate, hang up and call back the office number for the health district. Good information there. All right, switching gears to weather. It's been a rainy start to the work week here in the inland Northwest, but Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry tracking some much warmer weather just in time for Father's Day weekend.
We are tracking some great weather as we head into the Father's Day weekend. In the meantime, we might see a passing shower by tomorrow afternoon. We'll see temperatures a little bit warmer than today, but still below average. You can see high pressure trying to build into the region, but we still have some of that wraparound moisture across the area. And again, we think we might see some showers move in by tomorrow afternoon. Here we go. When we talk about your day planner forecast, look for an overnight low of 47 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Warmer tomorrow, but still below average. 74 is the daytime high. We'll look for a daytime high of 69, again with some afternoon showers. Now it really begins to warm up on Thursday and Friday, and by the time we get into the weekend, enjoy this. I've got Saturday, which is the summer solstice, 81 degrees, and for dear old Dad on Father's Day, beautiful weather planned for you. We'll look for a daytime high of 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. I'll check your 10-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
The weekend looks amazing. Thanks so much, Tom. Well, the historic Rose Apartments building in East Central Spokane is on the move to make way for the North Spokane Corridor project. The 2-story building has 8 units and was built back in 1912. And today, crews relocated the building 1 block south from its original location on East 3rd Avenue by Liberty Park.
Big and heavy, and it's brick, and the ability to move it is pretty fascinating.
Oh, I think it's a beautiful building and it needs to be preserved.
I've been interesting to see how they are going to get it to move and up over here.
It really is not every day a 100-year-old building is uprooted and moved. Neighbors came to watch how it's done throughout the day. Some brought cameras, others planned ahead and brought chairs. But the key to moving the historic Rose apartment is going slow and steady. The East Central Community Organization saved the building last year. It eventually received funding from Spokane's Community Housing and Human Services Department to plan and permit that move.
Yeah, quite the sight right there. Still ahead tonight as protesters continue to take to the streets calling for reforms to policing. Questions are resurfacing about why the Spokane County Sheriff's Office doesn't use body cameras. That story coming up after the break.